When you think of childhood cartoon icons, there's plenty of characters that could come to mind. Anybody from SpongeBob to Twilight Sparkle to the Blue's Clues guy, but nobody, and I mean nobody, looks back on Caillou with this fondness. I remember watching a decent amount of Caillou as a little kid, and while I definitely remember enjoying it to some degree, there was also a lot of stuff about it that bothered me. First of all, little kid me didn't really understand why there was a weird white vignette thing around all the background frames in the show, and honestly I still don't really know why. There's a bunch of fan theories about how like Caillou is dead or something, and that's why it looks all dreamlike and people let him get away with stuff or whatever because he's dead. I don't know. I'm not gonna delve into Caillou fan theories in this video, but there's a lot of them out there. Just trust me on that. Anyways, with the white border thing, I didn't really understand what like art styles were, so I thought it was just lazy to not draw the whole thing, and whether or not that actually is lazy doesn't really matter because that's not the problem that people have with Caillou. Nobody likes Caillou because this bald little gremlin is a terrible, awful child that was handed to these two poor parents by Satan himself. The plot of every single episode in the show is Caillou throwing a tantrum or abusing one of his family members, and at the end they basically end up apologizing to him for failing him or something. No, seriously, not only does he act like the biggest brat this side of the Himalayas, but he receives zero punishment for it. Absolutely no repercussions whatsoever. I mean, take a look at this.
Caillou! Why did you do that to Rosie?
I don't like Rosie.
Why not?
Rosie doesn't play with me.
But she's only a baby. She's just too little to play with you now. It's not easy being a big brother, is it?
So surely there's no doubt in your mind that Caillou came in a first-class priority mail package straight from the depths of hell. It seems like the creators intended for Caillou to be a fairly realistic 4-year-old, you know, bratty, poorly behaved, and not the smartest, if we're gonna be honest. But what they ended up with was a terribly behaved child that was treated as if he was an angel.
All changed?
Yes, I helped Daddy.
Would you like to hold her, Caillou?
Yes, please, Mommy.
Watch her head. What is it, Caillou?
Rosie smells good.
I'm not here to deeply analyze Caillou or the inner workings of all the characters in the show. I think it's pretty clear why nobody likes him, but instead I'm here to do what I do best. Laugh at people on the internet. Nah, instead I want to take a look at some funny things or opinions people have about this bald little hellspawn. First of all, Caillou went off the air at the beginning of 2021. They haven't actually made a single new episode since like October of 2010, but reruns of Caillou were consistent until he was finally pulled off air. Caillou ran for 5 seasons and 144 half-hour episodes, which is a lot of Caillou. Apparently there was a 90-minute movie called Caillou's Holiday Movie. Great work with the title there, guys, but I know nothing about it. I didn't hear about it as a kid, and if I'm gonna be honest, I just saw it on Wikipedia while researching for this video and thought I'd mention it. January 5th, 2021 was the fateful day that the 24-year-old 4-year-old was finally pulled off television. And while some people were sad to see their favorite childhood show get pulled off of TV, most were pretty happy to see him go. The internet came together in a rare moment of unity to bash Caillou and celebrate the fact that he was canceled. There's a ton of great tweets under the original cancellation tweet, as well as people's own standalone tweets. I pulled some off of some news articles since this happened like 8 months ago or whatever, and here are some of the highlights. There's some short and sweet ones like, "Thank God, he's so annoying. Good, this show was terrible. Bye Caillou, nobody will miss you. Good riddance. Caillou was one evil-ass motherfucker. Society when Caillou gets canceled." I really like this one that says, "Okay, but why did Caillou's parents never tell him to shut the fuck up when he had those stupid tantrums? On God, my mom would have thrown me out." I don't know, it's just on the nose in a really funny way. The image they have attached to it is also just perfect. Like the tweet, it's just right on the nose. This one's kind of messed up, honestly. Those little cards they made for Caillou's cancellation have the same vibe as funeral cards. These images were included in the original announcement tweet from PBS, and while they aren't wrong about the funeral cards thing, it's still not okay. They found Caillou's old problematic tweets, y'all. Cancel culture is sick. Even though this isn't the most original joke, I feel like it's the type that has to be made, so thanks to this guy for taking one for the team and making it. You know, I think now is as good a time as any to mention that while this was happening on Twitter in January this year, it was trending under politics. I just think that adds something to all these tweets, knowing that you would see them looking under politics. I don't know. A lot of the Caillou hate from around this time wasn't just coming from people who watched it as kids, but most of it was actually coming from the parents of the kids who watched it. In my extensive bald 4-year-old TV show research, I came across this petition that some lady made in 2013 on change.org to get Caillou off the air. Kate McKenzie, a scholar in the Caillou world, wrote, "On a network that hosts educational programming for children, what is the program Caillou teaching children? Anyone who has seen the show knows that Caillou is a whiny, bratty child and his show holds no educational value. Children who watch this program tend to copy Caillou's behavior, whining, demanding, throwing himself on the floor, kicking and screaming. His parents give him everything he wants. How is this teaching our children good values and communication skills? It's not. Please, PBS, remove Caillou from your programming." I'm not like a psychology guy or anything, so I'm not going to weigh in on whether or not kids actually do this or like a TV show can have an effect on a kid like this, but what I am is an internet funny man, and as an internet funny man, I declare that this is a funny internet. I think petitions in general are really funny. One of my favorite ones that comes to mind is the time that people petitioned Herman Miller to send Reggie Fils-Aimé from Nintendo an Aeron chair. I think that's what it was called. It was something really expensive. And they actually ended up getting him the chair. The idea that somebody created a petition this long ago to get Caillou pulled off the air is really funny, although it didn't really take off the same way that Reggie's did. There are still some funny comments though, which you know how I feel about funny comments. Do you? I like them. That's how I feel about them. Under the reasons for signing, we have Emily Finch saying, "This show is a terrible example for our young minds today. Caillou is a preschooler who acts out and throws temper tantrums to get what he wants. Complains when things don't go his way and when other boys and girls get things and Caillou doesn't. With our young minds watching and intellectually digesting this, tells them this behavior is okay." This is formatted really poorly. I hope I'm doing okay. So ask yourself, would you like for your youngster to be influenced by Caillou's behaviors? Let's put an end to this madness and tell PBS kids to take this show off the air. 'Cause he's annoying. Well said, Caleb. The rest of the reasons given on here are pretty much in line with what Caleb and Emily are saying. Caillou is annoying, and it turns their kids annoying. He's an obnoxious, whiny brat, and his parents teach him nothing. They just give in to anything he whines about. It is not a positive force with anyone, let alone a developing child. This is very serious. How could PBS let this go on and on? I am going to pull my yearly donations if don't do something. I actually was looking for a way to write PBS. I was getting for work. I had TV on and my son in other room waiting for me to have breakfast, visit, etc. when I heard the TV go off. "Yes," I said, "my son turned Caillou. He said 4 years old, it was giving him a headache. Dead serious. In fact, I still going to handwrite PBS because my fear. They never cancel any shows no matter how bad, and this horrid mistake could go on for years." That was presumably written by an adult, although with all the missing words and terrible grammar, I wouldn't be surprised if the 4-year-old wrote this one. Caillou is not a proper influence on kids. It should be on a station with older kids' cartoons and not the stations like Sprout that toddlers watch. They are already at the age where they are like sponges and imitating things around them, and Caillou is not educational, nor does it make a parent's job easier. We should be pushing and watching our kids' manners and how to be productive in society, all the things Caillou does not display. I think that's plenty of discussion about Caillou for one day. I'm honestly not really sure why I decided to cover this 8 months after it was canceled, but I don't know, I just remembered it happening earlier this year and I thought it was funny. And really, that's good enough for me. If I think it's funny, I guess I'll talk about it. So, yeah, bye. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to never miss new content. Check the description down below to follow my Twitter, where I post updates and funny things about videos that I'm working on, and don't forget to like the video on your way out. Peace.